Yeah, some run, no doubt about it. 10 wins on the bounce, 3 points off the top. We're going to take a call. Dave's a Villa fan, and Dave was at the game.
Morning, Dave.
Good morning, Dave. How are you?
Morning, mate.
Morning, boys. Morning, boys. Gabby, you called it, didn't you, before the match?
Oh, did I? What did I say, mate?
Well, you went through your combined starting 11, and Alan tried to give you dog's abuse, but actually, I'd be interested for the second half when Fernandes didn't come on. Who's in your 11 then?
Oh, I don't know, actually. Let me think. I might throw Gesson in there. He seems like a good lad, doesn't he?
This is, if you don't mind me interrupting, lads, this is seriously becoming a Villa loving this morning. Dave,
we deserve it.
Dave, what do you think, mate? Because realistically, I was at the... I've seen a Villa a few times this season, but the one that I really enjoyed was the Arsenal game.
Yes.
The late goal, when Diaz late goal, the roof just about came in. Are people getting carried away, or, Dave, are Villa serious title contenders?
It's a tough one because our glass is always half full. Up at the whole thing, you know, we want to believe, and we keep looking at each other going, it just gets better and better. All I'd say is I'd come back in about 3 or 4 weeks' time. Let's get through the Arsenal and Chelsea away games, and then if we pick up points there and we're still on the coattails, then why not? We've got Man City last game of the season, which potentially could be an absolute humdinger. So, yeah, I mean, it's just a fantastic season. It just doesn't get any better than this, really.
I think for me as well, Dave, I said to Ali earlier, even if we lost worst case scenario next 2 games, Chelsea, Arsenal, we're still going to be in third place. That just shows what an incredible season it's been so far.
Dave, what kind of defeatist attitude is that from
a worst case scenario?
What about that defeatist attitude, Dave, for the man on my left hand side? Can you believe you're listening to that?
No, this is a man that's won it at so many levels, Gabby, and he's looking at the whole season. So he's looking at the whole season, going, okay, we're not going to win everything. We're not going to walk through and win everything. We might drop a few points away at Chelsea and Arsenal as expected. Then we've got winnable games in January, and then we have a look at the league at the end of January, and we start talking it then. But it's just off the scale, and Villa Park at the moment is just the place to be. It is a loving, but rightly so. It's a loving because it's just a great place.
And when you win games like yesterday, when everyone in the whole team apart from Rodgers was poor for me, not at the levels they're normally at. That shows something. When you're winning games, when you're not playing well.
Brilliant, Dave. Listen, enjoy it, mate. And Dave, we've got...
Dave, don't go, Dave.
Dave, have a wonderful Christmas, pal. We'll hear from you end of January, no doubt about it. Bruno Fernandes went off at half-time for United. They hardly ever let a captain. He's been terrific. But Amarim says he'll be missing for a little while.
I think we are going to miss Bruno for the next games, but no excuses. Let's go to Newcastle with the players that we have, and we prove today that even against a team that is winning all the games, we were the better team. Sometimes you don't control what is going to happen, the recovery, but it's something on his leg. So with the experience that I have as a player, it's going to take a few games, but we'll be ready for when he returns.
Okay, we're going to look back at yesterday's game regarding his Manchester correspondent, Jamie Jackson. Jamie, very good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Jamie.
Good morning. I'm great, thank you.
Brilliant. What do you think? I thought United did all right yesterday.
They did, but I don't agree with Amarin's assessment that they were the better team. The better team in football for me is usually the one that wins, and Villa found a way. But they are a lot better than they were last season. Obviously, the table will show you that. Every time they get a chance to go 5th or 4th, I think this was like the 6th occasion, they kind of aren't able to do it. And maybe we're looking actually at their natural position in the table, you know, by the end of the season, sort of 6th, 7th, 8th. The Fernandes thing is a blow. I think he's only missed 3 games or something ridiculous like that since he signed in 2020, I think it was.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, through injury. So that says it all. I won't say they're a one-man team, but they're pretty close, aren't they, Manchester United? You have to say, you know, he basically runs the team. Everything goes through him. He doesn't score as many goals as he used to, particularly when he first arrived, but he is the heartbeat. And it's a big blow, and you can sort of hear it in Amarin's sort of voice there. So we're coming up to January, 8-9 days away. They were looking at defensive midfielders anyway. Ruben Neves is one, possibly Conor Gallagher. And, you know, it's a shame for Mainoo, right? Because he was injured anyway for yesterday's game. And of course, you know, now he's sort of the guy who...
Would he have started, Jamie?
I think so, yes. I don't know that for sure, but I think he would have done. He has said he could play in the Casemiro position because obviously he was suspended.
Yeah.
Yes, and Ugarte came in. And if you look at Ugarte, it's a bit of a strange one. He was at PSG. I think he was in the Copa America team of that tournament, but he doesn't look. I mean, maybe it's because he hasn't played particularly too many times, but he just looked a bit clumsy, and he gave the ball away a couple of times. So mainly he won't be back for Newcastle, but Casemiro will be. So it'll probably be Casemiro and Ugarte, which is not ideal from Amorim / United's point of view. But yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a. Well, it's a massive blow, really. But, let's see. He got it right, Amorim, when he said we have to deal with it, because everyone gets injuries, right? It's tough. Get on with it, sort of thing. He did say that. You can't use that as an excuse. It's top-level football. That's why you build squads. It's all about recruitment. So let's see what they can do in January.
What did you make of Šeško? He had a couple of opportunities that probably stood on better. Only 2 goals in 13 appearances in the Premier League. I'm not too sure about him, mate, if I'm being honest. What do you think, mate?
Yeah. I think you're being very polite there, Gabby. I hear what you're saying. I mean, before the game, I sort of said, put it on social media, big day for Šeško, sort of starting. And you have to say so far, he's had half a season there. I get that he's been injured and all the rest of it. But again, we're talking about top-level elite football.
Yeah.
These players are brought in for a reason. He's the number 9. I'd say so far, Højlund looks a better player. Højlund's got sort of burning pace. Obviously, the number 9 is on loan at Napoli.
Yeah.
Etc. Šeško looks a bit lost. Every time he gets the ball, you think he's going to lose it. It's not a great sign. Hopefully, because we all want to see players flourish and, be stars, because, we love to see that in any sort of team, whoever you support, players light up games. But he doesn't really light up games at all, does he? You think the opposite. You think, oh, dear me, he's a little bit of a liability at the moment. Now, it's a chicken-egg thing. He needs to play more to get confidence. But, the confidence seems to be sapped every time he does play, because he doesn't perform particularly well, and then that becomes a negative sort of spiral. So no, I'm not very impressed at all. I'm always really interested when, and I'm not saying he is a duff buy, but these top clubs, when they sort of buy a player and he doesn't perform, you think, well, what's the scouting told them? What's happened there? So you do like to think there's a player in there, but I think, as you say, Gabby, it's a polite way of saying it, I'm unsure about him as well.
I think the jury's out, Jamie. Listen, have a fabulous Christmas, mate.
Thank you, Jamie, for coming on.
Thanks for joining us.
Top man. Thank you.
Now, the latest episode of the talkSPORT Daily Podcast is out now with Majestic and former Premier League manager Alan Pardew reviewing all the weekend's action. Aston Villa beat United 2-1, Arsenal edge Everton 1-0 to return to the top, and City defeat West Ham 3-0 with the big fella on the score sheet yet again. Now, if you want to hear more on the talkSPORT Daily, it's available on all podcast platforms now.